A new dynamic concept is the concept of stability and equilibrium. Now, systems tend to have a state of equilibrium or stability when their behavior remains relatively constant. Equilibrium refers to a balanced state in which the system's variables or processes are in a steady state or reach a stable equilibrium point. This stability represents the system's ability to return to its original state or maintain its equilibrium despite disturbances. Now, a typical example of system equilibrium is the concept of predator and prey. Predator-prey models are usually used to study the dynamics between two or more interacting species in an ecosystem, which are the predators and the prey. So, in this system, one species, which is the predator, feeds on another species, which is the prey, while taking into consideration the ability of both of these species to reproduce. These models usually provide insights on the complex relationship between predator and prey populations and how they can influence each other's population sizes over time. These systems show the perfect example of how things are balanced in nature. So entities in the system depend on each other for survival, but can reach an equilibrium state where they can coexist in harmony without one of them eliminating the other, and this state of equilibrium can continue unless a certain disturbance affects the system's balance. So, as already mentioned, this kind of relationship is not specific to only one couple of interacting species, but of course, it can extend to many interacting species and it forms a chain actually. So, let's move on directly to the simulation model in order to see a direct example of this system. So in our model, we are going to convey two types of relationships. The first one is the relationship between the sheep and the wolf, where the wolf feed on the sheep or they consume the sheep. And the other relationship is between the sheep and the grass, where the sheep feed on the grass. So this is our simulation model, and as you can see here, we have this layout where we have a certain amount of sheep, wolves, and grass. Currently, the quantities for each of the species are set such that we can reach the equilibrium or the stability state. So let's run the model. So let's try to analyze the results that we see in this graph in order to check out how we can see the stability or the equilibrium in the system. So the orange graph refers to the number of sheep, the black refers to the number of wolves, and the green refers to the green grass. So initially, an increase in the prey population, which is the sheep in this case, leads to a subsequent increase in the predator population, which are the wolves. And this is because the wolves have more food available. However, as the predator population grows, it puts more pressure on the prey population, causing their numbers to decline. Now, eventually, with fewer prey available, the predator population also declines. And this cycle continues in a repeating pattern, representing an equilibrium in the system. And the same pattern can also be noticed between the other couple or the other relationship, which is between the sheep and the green grass, because we are able to see these consecutive ups and downs in the two graphs. So as we can see, predator-prey models can exhibit stable equilibrium points where the populations of predators and prey remain relatively constant over time. And these equilibrium points represent a balance between predator and prey numbers, where the rate of prey reproduction matches the rate of predation. However, small perturbations or disturbances in the system can lead to chaotic behavior. And as an example of these chaotic or unstable cases, let's see this following example. In this example, the initial number of sheep in the population is increased. So let's run the model. So we can see from the graph in this case that after a certain amount of time, all the sheep disappear. So in this case, the sheep were not able to survive due to the limited amount of resources compared to their initial number. Now, two factors contribute to this result. The first one is the limited amount of resources for the sheep to survive, and the second is the fact that the wolves are also consuming the available sheep. So what this example shows us is that a disturbance in the properties or the conditions of the system might end up leading to a state of non-equilibrium where even one of these species might cease to exist.